So you're waiting outside the classroom or in your front yard for your child to get home from school. The expectation is they've had a good day. They're all smiles, they've got stories to tell, and they're ready for snacks inside. But what if this isn't the case? What if your child's grumpy, visibly upset, and the story they're telling is one of anguish because of an incident that's happened at the school? This is not what you wanted for your child. You go into protection mode, and what do you do next? You ring the school. You give the front office person a piece of your mind and demand a meeting with anyone and everyone who's got something to do with your child. This would be a mistake. So what should you do when you need to communicate with your child's school? Contacting the school with any issue, good, bad, or otherwise, should be done with thought, compassion, and understanding. For your child, for the school, and for yourself. But you might be thinking, what if my child's upset because of an issue I perceive as serious? Shouldn't I deal with it immediately? The answer could be yes or no. Let's think for a moment that every issue our child has at school isn't just about what's right or wrong. There could be many things that could be true at the same time. It's true that your child's feeling upset. It could also be true that they held in what was upsetting them and didn't communicate that with the teacher. It's also true that in a class with many students, there could have been a more pressing issue at the time, and unfortunately, that meant that your child's issue was a bit down the pecking order at the time. It might even be true that your child received help with their issue, got some strategies, things to work on for the future, and your child communicated to that adult that they wanted to deal with the issue themselves. There are also many other possibilities that could be true, including negative ones. The thing is, as parents, we just don't have the whole story and everyone else's perspective. We'd have to be at school with our child to know that for sure. Now, I don't say this to diminish your child's emotions. They're most certainly real. But to give some understanding that how you communicate with the school is important and it matters. Schools and teachers love families that communicate well. It creates a feeling of working together and improving the outcomes for our students. And that's ultimately what we want. Now, everyone can do this with thought and practice. Is it easy? Not necessarily. So, here are some steps you can take to become a better communicator with your child's school. Step 1. Don't call, message, or email the school when you're angry. When you're heightened, you're going to say things you might regret and act in a way that might not represent who you truly are. You can get people offside, and the likelihood that they'll want to help or work with you diminishes pretty quickly. What you should do though is wait until you've calmed down. Spend some time with your child unpacking their feelings, and if possible, give it a night's sleep before you decide to contact the school. Step 2. Decide what you want from the school before making contact. There's no point ringing just to make a complaint. Use the school's expertise to your advantage. They're a place of education, so make what you want something educational. This might look like a meeting to help you understand an issue, a session to work on strategies for your child, or a chance for you to let your teacher know about your child's needs. Step 3. When asking for a meeting, have respect for your time and everyone else's. This could be making sure there's a time limit for how long a meeting is going to run for. Have an agenda with the points you want covered, clearly set out before the meeting. This allows everyone to be prepared and will result in better discussion and better outcomes. Step 4 is to listen. You deserve to be heard, and your child deserves to be heard, but so does everyone else. If you genuinely listen, you'll start to gain a better understanding with the teachers and the school. Improve your relationship, and again, get better outcomes for your child. In my career as a teacher, it's felt really rewarding when, after finishing a meeting about a student's learning, you feel really listened to. It makes you feel like we're all on the same page, and the messages at home and at school are all in sync with each other. A win for everyone. Step 5. Follow up. Nothing shows you're on the same team more than following up in a positive and constructive way. This doesn't mean messaging or ringing every day or two. That'd be pretty overwhelming. Imagine if everyone in the class did that. But maybe like once a fortnight, you can communicate with your teacher with a specific question about how they're progressing at school, or offering up some information about how they're progressing at home with an issue you previously discussed. And if things are going well, you might not have to communicate much at all. The teachers are generally pretty good at what they do. Step 6. Always stay professional, positive, and constructive. Conflict can arise when dealing with your child's school. After all, it's part of being human. But how you deal with it is important. We should always be looking for progress and to solve problems, not to dwell on issues and sit in negativity. Just think how this will reflect in your child's attitude towards school. And remember, your child's going to be at school most probably until they're almost an adult, in only a few different places, and we all want them to thrive. There are so many different scenarios that can arise between families and schools, and it would be impossible for me to address each and every one of them here. Hopefully, the steps that I've laid out will give you a good starting point to build a great relationship with your school for the benefit of your child. Thanks for listening. If you're interested in seeing another video about how to deal with your child wanting a mobile phone, then click the thumbnail above. And if you'd like to keep up to date with any of the videos I post, please subscribe and put any questions or thoughts in the comment section.